Another Intel lawsuit is happening. YouTube gets some community notes and AMD discontinues their GPUs. Let's get into hot news, everybody. I'm your Brett host. We're gonna be going over the hottest tech news I can find on the internet while you enjoy your breakfast this Friday, August 9th, 2024. And we're gonna start off today talking about yet another lawsuit that Intel is facing, not because their CPUs are unstable, but rather because their stock prices. Shareholders are getting together to sue Intel for the $32 billion loss that happened on August 1st because Intel is saying that they're not as profitable as they are going to expect moving forward, and they did not have as good success in the previous quarters as they were expecting, a 99% drop in revenue in the second quarter. And the class action lawsuit saying the CEO and CFO and the company, they produced materially false or misleading statements regarding the business and its manufacturing capabilities, which inflated its stock price from January 25th to August 1st of this year, which, just as being an opiner and observer of everything that Intel's been communicating this year, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but obviously people are upset that they lost a lot of money by investing in Intel, specifically on the stock price side of things, even though one of the things that they have been promising with regards to their fabrication is the fact that they will have 4 nodes in 5 years, which they appear to be on track for. Additionally, that they're going to be having customers coming in for their Intel Foundry services, which is happening, but they are taking significant losses trying to build those fabrication facilities out, which makes it very tricky. But the other thing that's been tricky, and one of the other things that Intel is potentially facing a class action lawsuit for, is their CPU instability. But now we finally have motherboard manufacturers rolling out the BIOS update for the CPUs. It appears to be a little bit ahead of schedule. I want to consider August 8th as mid-August, so it appears to be moving a little bit faster than Intel communicated, which is good to see. But currently, as of the time of filming, it appears like Asus rolled out this BIOS update first with the microcode update to fix the 14th and 13th gen stability issues, and MSI also released it for various versions of their motherboards as well. A lot of these BIOS updates are focused on the high-end motherboards, and the rest of the motherboard lineups, whether that's H610 or otherwise, will likely have it by the end of August, with both Asus and MSI prioritizing the boards that are likely dealing with the highest end CPUs currently at the moment. But one of the things to note, which is something that Kelt Reeves of Falcon Northwest pitched over to The Verge, especially urging people to, hey, number one, if you have these CPUs, there are steps you could be taking to mitigate all of these stability problems in the first place, so you should definitely implement those, because this microcode patch is kind of that last mile fix, not something that's just going to fix everything. You don't have to do the rest of it. This is something that Falcon Northwest has been continuously bringing to the front. They've kind of pioneered the way in all of the testing to figure out, specifically with the Asus motherboards that they sell, how do you prevent this instability from happening before Intel actually got to the scene with all of these BIOS updates. So it's definitely something you should be aware of. 95% of the fix is available right now by you tweaking and changing your motherboard, updating to the previous BIOS updates that have come out, and then that 5% remaining to potentially, hopefully, remove all lingering questions is this BIOS update, which now appears to be rolling out, at least with certain motherboard companies, and mostly will be resolved allegedly by the end of the month, which I really hope it is. I want Intel to both have communicated correctly with the BIOS and communicated properly on the time frame and deliver on what they set the expectation to the end consumer to be. That would be great. That's what I want to see. Hopefully it happens, especially because I'm looking at the new chip that's getting benchmarked, the 14901KE, and it makes me excited because it's a non-E core version of the 14900K. She's got the 8P cores, 16 total threads, and it's slightly faster than the 12900KS. It's got a really fast single core score. It's also got a pretty decent multi-core score. It's all of the zhuzh with none of the extra. A lot of people turn off E-core for gaming. Potentially this 01KE CPU set could be for anybody who is looking to have a gaming exclusive 8-core CPU from Intel in case they want it. And in case you want an ARC A760 for your car, Intel launched that too, the automotive grade GPU, now coming out from Team Blue, with them saying that you can get the same AAA gaming experience at home inside the car. It helps OEMs to unlock a new era of AI-powered cockpit experiences, and that it will provide personalized in-vehicle passenger experiences much like those experienced across the PC industry. So kind of like what Tesla was doing with the Navi GPU to kind of provide PS5 level performance. Allegedly, Steam was supposed to come to it. That was one of the selling points. You'll be able to play Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk. That never really manifested, and so, you know, gaming inside your car fantastic. It's optionally available. For who, we're not sure yet. But as of yesterday, half of AMD's new CPUs are available to the end consumer. Let me know, I'm curious, this is not really a report on anything. They launched, the 9700X and 9600X are now available. Let me know if you picked one up. Are you looking at them, or are you sticking with the 7700X? You waiting for the X3D variant of Ryzen 9000? Let me know. I did buy both of those chips so that we could do some videos on them moving forward, so you can get subscribed for that in case you want it, but you don't have to, and you don't have to get subscribed for deals. Reece gives those away for free.
Yo, welcome back to UFD Deals, bringing the hottest tech deals out on the internet. Happy Friday, everyone. Hope you guys had a good week, and hopefully I can send you off into the weekend with some good deals. Starting off with this Reece 15.6-inch 1080p 60Hz portable monitor for only $59.99, plus you get a little bonus $5 gift card from Newegg. But then next up we have the Fractal Design Terra Mini ITX small form factor case, available in silver for only $129.99, making it $50 off. The other variants are on sale too, but only for $40 off. So if you wanna pick one of the other ones, you're not far off. And then lastly, we have this LG Ultra Gear 34-inch 3440 by 1440 240Hz curved OLED gaming monitor, going for only $799.99, making it $500 off. And hey, with that, the deals are done. You can find these and more linked in the video description down below. But until next time, I'm gonna hand you off back to Brett for the rest of your hot news. Cheers.
Reece, this has nothing to do with deals. I just want God of War Ragnarok on PC. Played it on PlayStation 5, loved the game, adored it, and now we have the PC spec requirements for God of War Ragnarok. And in case you want to play it at Ultra, 4K 60 FPS average, 4070 Ti, or the 7900X, and that's with a 11th Gen i5 and a Ryzen 7 3700X. It doesn't look like it's going to be a super intensive game for 4K 60 FPS at Ultra. I should be totally fine on my system, but one of the things to know, it's going to take 190 gigabytes of your SSD. This game's going to be available on September 19th. I loved the 2018 God of War game. God of War Ragnarok delivered on everything that I wanted in the sequel. I was very happy with it. I understand certain people's reception of it. They didn't like Ragnarok as much. It does have a few quirks and was almost too accessible in a lot of the game hints that some of the side characters provide. It didn't really let you figure things out. Big problem, but I'm definitely picking it up on PC. I want to play the game again, and I want to play it maxed out. That's the plan. Or am I lying? Because if I'm lying, you should probably put a community note on this video, because YouTube is rolling that out. They're inviting users to test one of the best features that ever came out of Twitter, which is the community note feature, where the community bands together and lets people know whether or not there's incorrect information, if it's intentionally misleading, if it's a meme that people took too seriously, you know, and something to do with a couch and a book somewhere. You just gotta make sure you make notes about it so that you realize it's not actually in the autobiography. It's just something somebody made up. That's why community notes are helpful, and they're starting to roll out here on YouTube. And Apple is appearing to roll out some ideas that YouTubers have had, and that is they're making the Mac Mini smaller, allegedly coming out from one of the Apple insiders that the M4 Mac Mini is gonna be the smallest Mac Mini ever made, and it's gonna be roughly the size of an Apple TV, which are just tiny little things. They're not very big at all. I'd say they're probably like smaller than this, or about the same size, but like squished form factor and more square. That is true. That'd be pretty impressive, because the Mac Mini as it currently is kind of too big, right? Like the cooling space that you need to cool down these base level chips is less than the entire size of the Mac Mini, so shrinking it even more could be very cool. You could stick it in cool places. I said that. And AMD is saying that they're done with their mid-tier GPUs from last generation. The RX 6600, 6600 XT, and 6650 XT are finally biting the dust. AMD removing the mainstream options of their previous RDNA 2 GPUs, and now the 6750 GRE 10 gig version will be the mainstream model moving forward. The RX 6600 series is completely dead, and the 6500 XT will be sold roughly through the end of the year, so don't likely expect a 7500 XT to replace it, but it does look like AMD is starting to discontinue some of the better value GPUs that a lot of people have been using for budget PC builds. And it makes sense, it's about time to move on. We're expecting the RX 8000 series to drop at some point, probably CES of next year. So while this is happening, I will take this opportunity to remind you, as I always like to do, GTX 900 series likely gonna lose driver support sometime soon, as well as the RX 480, 580 Polaris series. That is likely gonna lose driver support sometime soon based on previous timelines. AMD and NVIDIA have kept these cards around for a very long time. The driver support on these is just not what they used to do, so just you know, if you're on those, just get ready for no more patches. That's just security patches potentially moving forward. And I am gonna securely patch my eyes to your comments. Why do I talk like this? Over on YouTube, we got Eggplantman Watch saying, I moved from an i5-4460, great CPU. First video on UFD Tech, I had an i5-4460. I love that thing, fantastic CPU. To a Ryzen 5 2600X, and I've never thought about going back. I have had a Ryzen 7 fail on me, but I contacted AMD and they replaced it super fast, pretty much no questions asked. The Intel fiasco has me not even looking to Intel for their low-end stuff. If I can't trust a company to stand behind their product, I will not be investing in said product. It's a tough stance. AMD's making great chips. Back when the i5-4460 came out, the competition was not even at that point. The 4460 was a banger of a CPU. Absolutely phenomenal, but I'm glad you're happy on AMD, and I hope it stays that way. I hope they don't do anything to disappoint you. And then we got Raphael saying, is he inside a bathroom? What? I get like the white walls. I mean, are your bathrooms like pure white? Because mine at home are like plastered in wallpaper. But no, this isn't a toilet. At least I hope it's, I'm not using it as one. This could be a bathroom with no plumbing. Cod saying the camp reflection in the mirror looks like Brett has a green parrot on his shoulder like a pirate. I don't think I was positioned well enough for that today. I changed everything up a little bit, I'm sorry. And then Mr. Mystic Phantom saying, yo, Reece speaking lightly is like effing ASMR. That was something that popped up in our company WhatsApp group, like as soon as Rikus was editing it. He said, Reece, why are my deals ASMR today? I don't like it. And then said the comments are going to have a field day with it. And you guys did seem to appreciate Reece and his sultry, smooth, soft, intimate voice. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I miss that man. I want him around, and I want him to talk to me like that again. And Falcon Northwest is talking to us. They say, thanks for the kind words, UFD Tech. We have to shout out Intel for doing the right thing and extending their warranty by 2 years. And remember, UFD viewers with Raptor Lake desktops, update your BIOS now. Don't wait for the next microcode. Get that when it comes out too. The sooner you update your BIOS, the sooner you can prevent CPU degradation, and hopefully never need to worry about RMAing a CPU at all. Yeah, I covered that, so we're on the same page. Let's go. And Sellout Satirus saying the acoustics in that closet are surprisingly good. They are. I mean, it's an enclosed space, but it's got like shelving to kind of break it up. Also, there's like a bunch of linens in here, and there's like pillows around, so those are kind of helping to dampen the reverb a little bit. I enjoy it. And Doge says that they enjoy the Ryzen 9000 launch, saying, I don't think the Zen 5 launch is bad. Pretty much half the TDP and still the same performance. Just the power bill makes the upgrade worth it for many. Just because the last generations always pushed clocks to the absolute limit does not mean this should be the default. I think that for certain people, that argument works. I think it's kind of disappointing to people who have been in this, you know, PC situation for quite some time, where this is not normal. This is not typical. When it's something like going from Raptor Lake to Raptor Lake Refresh, you kind of get it. Like there shouldn't be much performance increase going from the 13900K to the 14900K. Like it's not a new architecture, but Zen 5 is a brand new architecture. Like it was supposed to be like hailed as like something really important, and it's good for a lot of the things that they redesigned it to be, but in terms of gaming and the enthusiast, it doesn't appear to do that. And saying that, you know, the power bill makes the upgrade worth it for many, consuming 20 to 60 less watts during the most intensive tasks, it's not going to reflect on most people who have anywhere below a 50 cent per kilowatt hour electricity rate in a meaningful way over a long period of time. That extra $70 you're gonna save by going to the 7700X over the 9700X, you're not likely to meet that power bill price difference in the lifespan that you have the CPU. So we're not talking about 250 watts down to like 25. We're talking about going from like 120 down to like 65. And it's not, while that's good, I think cooling and heat output is a valid consideration, right? Like not, especially if you're in an enclosed space where that extra heat might be a problem, where you live in more humid climates. I can understand that selling point a little bit more, but the power bill argument, you have to have like absurdly high electricity rates for that argument to actually ring true, where the price difference between these two CPUs, like you're just going to save more money by going with the 7700X overall. And so it's a weird launch. Like AVX 512, fantastic, phenomenal performance and the things that utilize it to like incredible degrees. But like a lot of people, a lot of reviewers also reported that they had weird multi-core performance. It was actually worse than the previous generation, which is not something that you want to see. And so like it's weird. It's middling. PBO is not enabled by default, which can help you to unlock a little bit, which you can do, but then you lose all of those power benefits. I wouldn't say it is bad. I wouldn't call this launch bad, but I think the description of mid is appropriate. It excels in certain ways. It under delivers in certain ways, and it's clear why AMD did not choose to compare it against its predecessor in gaming benchmarks when they were promoting it. It makes a lot of sense. I get it. So I have them coming in. We'll see what we think about them once we put it on our systems and test it out for ourselves. Let me know if there's anything specific that you've seen missing in Ryzen 9000 reviews that you might want us to cover here at UFD Tech, unless it's like insanely technical, like you want us to go deeper than Gamers Nexus did. I don't think we're necessarily gonna be able to do that, but more reviews coming from UFD Tech. We wanna make that happen, and I wanna make this happen. Ending hot news, we're over today. To be back on Monday.